Tertullus is a figure mentioned in the Christian Greek scriptures, specifically in Acts chapter 24 verses 1-9, as a professional orator or advocate. He plays a significant role in the legal proceedings against the Apostle Paul before the Roman governor Felix. Here's a detailed overview of Tertullus's role, significance, and historical context based on Jehovah's Witnesses' interpretation from their literature, including the New World Translation and supporting publications found on jw.org. Who was Tertullus? Tertullus was a professional legal advocate or orator, likely a Hellenistic Jew, who was hired by the Jewish religious leaders to present their case against the Apostle Paul. His main role was to act as a prosecutor in the trial before Governor Felix in Caesarea. The name, Tertullus, is of Latin origin, suggesting that he may have had Roman or Greco-Roman cultural ties, which would have been beneficial in the Roman judicial system. Tertullus's role in Acts 24. The events involving Tertullus occur during Paul's imprisonment in Caesarea after his arrest in Jerusalem. The high priest Ananias, along with some elders, came to Caesarea to formally accuse Paul. They brought Tertullus to articulate their charges against him. The account in Acts 24 reveals several key aspects of Tertullus's role and personality. Flattery and rhetoric. Tertullus begins his speech with excessive flattery toward Governor Felix, saying, "We enjoy great peace, and reforms are being brought about for this nation because of your foresight." Acts chapter 24 verses 2-3. This was a typical rhetorical strategy in Roman legal proceedings to curry favor with the judge or governor. However, Jehovah's Witnesses note that this flattery was likely insincere, as Felix's governance was known for corruption and cruelty. The charges against Paul. Tertullus accused Paul of being a troublemaker, calling him a pestilent fellow, and a stirrer of seditions among all the Jews throughout the inhabited earth. Acts chapter 24 verse 5, NW. He labeled Paul as a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes, and accused him of trying to profane the temple. These charges were designed to portray Paul as a threat to Roman order and Jewish religious sanctity. Misrepresentation and bias. Jehovah's Witnesses highlight that Tertullus distorted the facts. For example, Paul had not caused a riot or profaned the temple but was peacefully worshipping when he was seized by an angry mob. Acts chapter 21 verses 26-30. Tertullus's speech reflects the bias of those who opposed early Christians, showing how they often twisted facts to discredit the Christian message. Legal and political tactics. By hiring a skilled orator like Tertullus, the Jewish leaders demonstrated their intent to use the Roman legal system to achieve their goal of silencing Paul. Tertullus's polished speech was an attempt to present their case in a manner acceptable to Roman authorities, focusing on accusations of sedition, which the Romans would take seriously. What can be learned from Tertullus's role? Jehovah's Witnesses draw several lessons from Tertullus's actions and their outcome. The opposition to true worship. Tertullus represents the broader opposition faced by early Christians. His actions remind Jehovah's Witnesses of the challenges that true worshippers may encounter when false accusations are brought against them. Reliance on Jehovah. Paul's calm and truthful defense before Felix contrasts sharply with Tertullus's deceitful and manipulative rhetoric. Acts chapter 24 verses 10-21. Jehovah's Witnesses are encouraged to follow Paul's example of relying on Jehovah when facing opposition or legal challenges. The futility of human schemes. Despite Tertullus's eloquence and the backing of the Jewish leaders, his accusations did not lead to Paul's conviction. This demonstrates that Jehovah can thwart the schemes of opposers. Historical and cultural context. Tertullus's role as an orator reflects the Greco-Roman legal practices of the time, where skilled speakers were often employed to represent clients in legal disputes. Such advocates were known for their rhetorical flair and ability to manipulate facts to sway judges. Jehovah's Witnesses highlight that this is in sharp contrast to the Christian emphasis on truthfulness and integrity in speech. The trial before Felix also highlights the tense relationship between Roman authorities and the Jewish population, as well as the growing divide between mainstream Judaism and the early Christian congregation. Modern application for Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses view Tertullus's actions as an example of how true worshippers may face misrepresentation and legal challenges today. They are reminded to remain steadfast, to present their case truthfully, and to trust that Jehovah will vindicate his people, just as he protected Paul in this instance. In conclusion, Tertullus is remembered not for his integrity, but for his role in opposing the spread of Christianity. His polished rhetoric and false accusations serve as a contrast to the faithful and truthful witness given by Paul. This account, as examined by Jehovah's Witnesses, reinforces the importance of maintaining integrity under trial and trusting in Jehovah's ultimate justice. Please share and like and please subscribe.